Hey guys, welcome back to Call Your Friends. We're your friends, Lauren and Maddie, and we're back in LA. We had a great trip. Today we're going to recap our trip to Hawaii, or like the second half of it, because last episode we were in Hawaii reporting live, I think we said. So we're going to give you a little recap. We're going to talk about some things that are going on in the social media pop culture world, as always. And I think Lauren has some exciting news. Why don't we start with your exciting news, because otherwise I feel like people will be just like dying to know.
Okay.
They'll be on the edge of their seat their whole episode. What's the word? Suspense. The suspense will be killing them.
Okay, so I'm assuming you want me to talk about university stuff?
Yes, as promised.
I figured. Nothing else that exciting has been going on in my life, so kind of made that assumption. But, okay, I'm going to say in order of like which schools I found out about. So the first school I heard back from was Northeastern, and I was waitlisted, which was like a pretty... Okay, waitlisted, I don't know. It's not that bad, obviously. Like, getting rejected would have been worse. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of a disappointing start.
Were you like, oh, no.
I was a bit scared.
I
was like, I don't think I'm going to get into any of my U.S. schools after I was waitlisted from Northeastern. But and then, like, a few days later, I think, I heard back from 3 schools in one day, 3 UCs. And first I opened UC San Diego, and I got in. And then I opened UC Irvine, and I was on their wait list. And then, okay, after I got waitlisted from Irvine, which wasn't really my top choice. Yeah. So basically, of the UCs, I wanted to get into UCLA and UC Berkeley. Like, those are the 2 more competitive ones. And so I was really hoping to get into one of them. And then I applied to the other UCs just kind of because it's like very easy to apply to them. Like, it's one application, so you can just like check off extra boxes, and like you pay a bit more to apply to more schools. But I was like, why wouldn't I apply? But I don't think I would have otherwise applied to UC Irvine. When I got rejected, I was like, oh no.
You're like, there's no way I'm getting into UCLA.
Yeah. And then UCLA never actually emailed me to tell me that like my decision was released. But one of my friends said that she had gotten her decision. So I just went on my UC portal, and it was right there, which I also wasn't expecting. Because normally you have to click, like, view decision or something. Oh. So in the video that I took of me opening my UCLA decision, I am so shocked. And it's, like, genuine surprise because I didn't expect it to be right there. And then I also didn't expect to get in.
Okay, got it. That makes sense.
Yeah. And then where else have I heard back from?
USC.
Oh, yeah. Okay, wait. A few days after UCLA, I heard back from UC Santa Barbara. And I got in there as well. And then yesterday I heard back from Berkeley, UC Berkeley, and I got waitlisted, which is okay.
Not a rejection, but a waitlist.
Yes, and then just earlier today, I opened my USC decision, and I got in there as well. And
our mom doesn't know yet.
Oh, yeah. We should keep it down. I'm going to take a video surprising her, but she's going to be so excited. She cried when I opened my UCLA decision.
She was... Okay, you have to tell the story. The story of how you told her.
So basically, I opened my UCLA decision first. Maddie was in the room, so we opened it. And then I told my mom to come down and look at my UC Irvine decision. To like tell me whether I got in, because I like didn't know if I got rejected or waitlisted or what it was.
But you were like,
obviously they make it so clear. It's like, we invite you to join the waitlist, you know?
Yeah. But you were like, UCI, that was my safety school. Like, she was like pretending to be sad.
Yeah. And then, so my mom came in and she, like, opened my computer to look at the UC Irvine letter, and then I had my UCLA acceptance on the screen, and she was not expecting it, so she was very surprised and very happy.
Mm-hmm. Because she really wants Lauren to live in LA.
Yeah, I honestly think it's just about me living close to her and the family. She's like, you could come home and do your laundry here on the weekends. I'm like,
And she wants to be here, too, of course, because... Obviously, she just loves living in LA and doesn't want Lauren to go to a Canadian school because she doesn't want to stay in Canada. Mm-hmm. So I think anywhere in the U.S. she'd be happy with, especially in California. But she does, like, she wants you to be close. She wants you to be able to come home on the weekends. But as we were saying, I think that it's good that if you're going to go to a school like that, or I guess actually if you want to have, like, do social media stuff and, like, have that balance, then it makes sense to go to a school in LA, because if you're not going to go to school in LA, then you could go to school anywhere, kind of. Like, if you're not going to be able to come home for, like, a job or to record our podcast or whatever, then you should go to school like wherever you want.
Yeah,
It doesn't make a
even
difference.
we were talking about like if I went to school in a different part of California, like where Berkeley is or even Stanford, it would be very hard to come home. Like I'd probably either have to drive for a few hours or fly. And it's like not an easy trip to make, so I don't know how often I'd actually end up coming home.
Most things would be done remotely even though you're living in California. Even in LA, like it's 40 minutes to get to the closest school. So yeah, like Stanford's probably like 7-hour drive. It's not really like doable.
I was like, but there are direct flights from Stanford, California to Los Angeles. I'm like, okay, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
It's just more of an undertaking.
Yeah.
And if you're going to fly, like, why not look in other states or like where you really want to go? I mean, those are all good schools, but if you got into an Ivy League school, for example, you could live in Boston or you could live in any of those East Coast states where like Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, where the Ivies are, if you're going to be away from home anyways. So that was our thinking, but I guess it'll be interesting to see what other schools you get into so you can make your final decision. At this point, say if you got rejected from every other school, where would you go?
I feel like right now it's probably between UCLA and USC for me. Any school that I get waitlisted by, like I've applied for a spot on the waitlist at all the schools that I've been waitlisted by, but realistically I don't know if I'd end up going because like some of them won't tell me till the end of the summer.
Right.
And by then I feel like I want to have made my decision. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But based on what I know and what I've heard about the schools, probably either LA or USC. Sorry.
Which one?
I don't know. See, that's a big question because they're like rivals. And
I think you should look into what the better program is, because that will be like a game changer.
I actually don't think UCLA has a business program for undergrad students. They have business economics.
Economics.
Yeah, I don't know. And you can do like a minor in entrepreneurship. So I'd have to look into that program and see what it's actually like. But based on that, I think USC might have a program that like is geared towards students who want to go into business, or if they don't have like a program for it, they have other supports. I know they've helped students launch their own businesses. I just remember this from when I applied, but they do more to help entrepreneurs, I think. So that would be a reason that I might want to go to USC over UCLA, but we'll see.
Because when it comes down to it, you'll have fun at any of these schools. Like they're all great schools, and the education is good. They're like well known. They have a lot of prestige. All the schools that you applied to are great schools. So I think that it comes down to like social life and where you're gonna fit in the best, and like what the best vibe you get from your tours, and also like what your courses are gonna be. Because you do have to spend a lot of time learning, going to class. I know you don't. Maybe you don't think that you do. I actually went to most of my classes, and I feel like at these schools, since you have to take such a wide range of courses, you have to go even more probably. Like if I was taking like Spanish and math, I would have to go to every class because it's more like hands-on. Plus the classes are probably smaller than my school. I don't know, I'm just saying that. But you spend a lot of time doing school. It's like that's the reason that you're there. So
of course,
you have to really enjoy the course content. And that's the great thing about university is that you don't, well, I don't know about American schools. Like they're a little bit more high school-like, but the school that I went to, I didn't have to take any classes that I didn't like. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think the U.S. has a lot of required courses in your first few years especially, but you do have some freedom to choose. I think especially at USC, they allow you to take classes from different faculties, I believe they call it, so you do have a lot of choice.
It's just amazing because you're so used to taking classes that you don't like just because you have to, but you can, it's like so specific too. Like, and like I was taking all these entertainment industry classes, which I found so interesting, and it was like entertainment and fashion, like a class all about that, which is just so cool. Yeah. So you can really curate what you're learning about, but that's why it's important to go to a school where the courses are geared towards something that you find interesting.
Yeah, I think I have a lot of research to do before I commit to any of these schools, and I have some time. I think I have until May 1st to decide. Good. So definitely I have a lot of research to do. I kind of did the bare minimum when I was applying, to be honest, because I don't have a dream school. I never really thought I would apply to any of the U.S. schools, especially not any of the Ivies. I had never planned for that. And then when I was playing, I was just like,
might as well
give it a shot. But I didn't do too much research, so I kind of told myself that if I got into the school, I would look into it and compare it to the other ones I got into and tour them maybe. So I'm going to see USC tomorrow, and I went to see UCLA yesterday. And I think that also has helped me kind of get a better idea of what the vibe is and what the students are like, even though everyone was on spring break, which is kind of disappointing because I couldn't actually see very many students. But
well, you can do another tour. Like, if you have two schools that you're choosing between, it might be worth it to go back, especially if it's like UCLA. It's like 30 minutes from our house.
Yeah.
And USC is not that far either. So if it's like April 25th, then you need to decide in a week. You would be the person who decides on like the 30th. Is there 30 days in April?
I don't know.
30 days? Yes. So you would decide on April
30th. I'm like touring
at
schools.
11 p.m.
Yeah.
Before like an hour before the deadline. Lauren's like, I don't know what to do. You would.
I can guarantee that's going to happen. That's just so me.
I can so see it. So we'll keep you guys posted.
Yes.
When's the Ivy decision day?
I can't remember if it's March 30th or 31st, but it's like
one of the last
days of March. Yeah.
Ooh, that'll be exciting. We'll see if she gets into Harvard. I guessed all the schools. Lauren, I'm 2 for 2. I said you were not going to get into Berkeley, and you were going to get into USC.
I think you're manifesting it. So can you stop putting negative
What did we say for the other ones?
Out into the universe?
These are just our guesses. She hasn't gotten into any of these schools yet.
No, my favorite are Maddie's guesses because mine are somewhat based on like what I said in my application, what program I applied for, how competitive the school is. Maddie's like, I'm getting a vibe that you will get into.
It's just my general
USC.
feeling, okay?
Right, okay.
So what did I say? Harvard, I said yes.
Okay, sure. Put that out there. Put it in the universe.
Either Yale or Brown, I said no, but then I changed. Which one was it? Brown?
Brown. Yeah.
So Yale is a no.
Okay,
Brown is a yes.
You said no to Brown, and then I told her that I submitted this optional video supplemental that's like, I don't even know. It's all about my whole life, and she's like, "Oh, you're gonna get in." I was like, "Okay, well, I'm pretty confident in my video making abilities, but I'll take it."
Okay, so you're gonna get into Harvard. You're not gonna get into Yale. You're gonna get into Brown. What are the other ones?
Oh my god, I applied to so many.
Stanford's not an Ivy, but
Columbia, Stanford.
Columbia, no.
What a shame.
Columbia could go either way. I'm feeling I might be actually psychic, so I'm having a mixed feeling about Columbia. I'll have to get back to you on that.
I will say Columbia was the first application I did, and I don't think it was very good.
Okay, I think my final answer on Columbia was no. And these are going to be not flat-out rejections. I think we said mostly waitlists. There might have been one or two flat-out rejections. Okay. I think Yale was a flat-out rejection.
Okay. You feeling that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, UPenn, I said yes. You really want to go to UPenn, right?
Well, they have a really, really good business school.
The Wharton School of Business.
That's the one. So it would be very ideal.
I think you're going to get into UPenn.
Oh, thank you.
We're going to have to stop celebrating with cake at a certain point.
Okay. For those of you who didn't see my TikToks, and I think Maddie posted an Instagram story, but we were just in Hawaii on vacation, as you probably know if you listened to last week's episode. But we would go out for dinner every night because we were on vacation. And we got into like a nice habit of ordering dessert, like
every night.
The same like bento box lava cake thing from
Nobu.
And my mom will tell them what school I got into that day, and they write it on the cake.
And then one day I think we ordered one dessert. We're like all really full. We just want one dessert. They come out with like 5 desserts. My mom told the manager of the restaurant on the phone or something beforehand. So he brought out like all these free desserts, which was so nice. But
so sweet.
It was crazy. I was like, Mom, really?
And it was for like UC Santa Barbara, which is a very nice school, but like probably not the school that I'll end up at. So I was like, okay, like let's not make a big deal out of it.
The best is because Mom really wants to live in Santa Barbara. Like her dream is to move to Santa Barbara and like live on a ranch. So she was like so happy. She's like, I just feel like you're gonna go to Santa Barbara. Laura's like,
you need to go.
I don't feel like that.
She's like, I know you got into LA. I know it's a better school, but you're destined to be at Santa Barbara. And I was like, okay.
don't think so.
I don't know. We'll see.
Her retirement plans can wait 4 years, I think. I mean, Santa Barbara's only 2 hours away. Like, they could move there. You could live in LA. Wouldn't be a
Santa
big deal.
Barbara's a great school, and the city is beautiful, and apparently the campus is gorgeous as well.
It would be awesome.
Maybe I'll end up there. You never
Who
know.
knows? That's the university update. Let's close the books on Hawaii as well, because we did start talking about it last week, but we were only like 3 days in. The vacation seemed very long to me.
I thought so too. I think it was because we weren't, like, for the first few days we were staying at the hotel that was more of like a retreat.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just very relaxed all day, and it wasn't busy, go, even though we were doing these activities.
We were kind of busy though.
Yeah, but it was like massages and like wraps.
We were booked though. We were like 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m. I think we explained this last week, but a lot of the activities were included. So my mom was like going hard on the activities. We had like 3 things per day. Booked.
She had us doing a lot of things, but they were all very chill. Mm-hmm. So I feel like for me at least, that's why it didn't feel like it went by that quickly, is because I was very relaxed the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Why do
I
you
have
think?
no idea.
What's your theory?
I feel like we were busy. Like, think about when we go to Anguilla. We do nothing. We have 0 plans. Like, you get there, you don't have one thing on the agenda. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, that goes by super quick.
Why would that go by quicker?
I don't know. The days just were so long. Like, we started at 9 a.m., and like the first couple of days, we'd have like 9 a.m. horseback riding. Then we're going to the spa. Then we're doing something else. Then me and Lauren are going to the gym. Then we have something before dinner. Then we have dinner at like 7. I don't know. It just seems so busy.
Maybe it was that we were doing a lot every day. Mm-hmm. So it felt like we got
like
a lot
weeks.
done every day, and you normally would need more time for that.
That's what I think.
We packed it in.
That's
like,
what I think.
I think I did more activities in those few days than I would do in weeks at home.
It's true, because like, when do you do that all in one day?
Yeah. If you were going horseback riding,
busy.
it would be a whole day activity. You would look forward to it for a few days, think about it for a few days after. You know, it wouldn't be like a one quick thing. Okay, now we're going to the spa.
Then we're going on a snorkeling tour. It was crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah,
crazy stuff.
I think that's the reason. Because those are all like things that you would make like a weekend activity. Mm-hmm. So you would do all those things like throughout the month. Like one Saturday you'd go horseback riding. One Saturday you do a spa day with your friends. Like, I don't know, if you're at home.
Yeah, but not if you have activities credits that you have to use up.
We couldn't even use them all. She was like, we have so much activity credit left over. Like, you guys have to go golfing again. We didn't go golfing, but the rest of them did, except me, Lauren, and my mother.
Oh my gosh, when they were golfing, I went to the cat sanctuary. It was an unbelievable, life-changing experience. I highly suggest. Yeah, I think, okay, I don't know. I have a lot of highlights. It was a fun time. But I think that was like something that I'm going to remember for years, because
it's horrific. Please insert clips.
Explain.
Can we insert the clips as you explain?
Sure.
Okay, so now if you're watching video, here's the cat sanctuary.
If you're watching video, if I don't get lazy when I'm editing, I'll do something nice for you guys. So here it is.
I hope you're not scared of cats, because this is a nightmare for you.
Yeah, so this was the cat sanctuary. It was a lot of fun. Basically, there were 670 cats, and they were all formerly wild. So
feral, you could say.
No. That word has a negative connotation, Maddie. I think we should try and keep things positive. They were very sweet. But they were captured, which might sound negative, but it wasn't a bad thing necessarily, because they were threatening the bird population on the island of Lanai. And so these cats were all brought to the sanctuary, basically instead of killing them, which would have been very mean.
So sad.
Very sad. They just brought them all to this cat sanctuary, and they have 670 cats living together. They're all spayed and neutered, so they're trying to control the cat population. But it's 670 cats. Darian, just one dad.
This is a wildlife podcast.
Yeah. I think that's where I belong. Maybe that's our niche, Maddie.
Oh my God, we found our niche. Thank God.
Yeah. I posted something on my private Snapchat story just with my friends on it. No offense.
Okay.
Maddie didn't
kind of
make the
rude.
cut.
Kind of rude, but all right. Continue.
Just my close friends, right?
Lauren, you're on my close friends. Instagram. I don't use Snapchat.
Oh.
Guess it's not mutual.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awkward. Anyway, I posted a video of the cats, and there were quite a few cats in my story. And it was so funny looking at the responses to it because some of my friends were like, this is my worst nightmare. Like, I hate cats. I'm not a cat person. I think I'd die if I was there. And then some of my other friends were like, oh my gosh, like, why didn't you bring me with? Like, bring one home for me.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And it really goes to show, if you don't like cats, the cat sanctuary is not the place for you.
You wouldn't strike me as a cat person. The thing is, I think you just like animals, but like you probably wouldn't want to own cats.
After that, I kind of did want to own one because you can also adopt them, and they'll like
ship
you
all
can
across
bring
North
them
America.
home with you, or they'll ship it to you if you like have to go home and get supplies for the cat. And I was really considering it, but then I realized that I live with you and Dad, and you guys are both very allergic, so it wasn't really a possibility for me. But honestly, after that, I was converted. Like, I was strictly a dog person before, not big on cats. But they're so nice and so sweet. And I really want one now.
Mom got bit by one, so.
Okay, well, you know, I had some scratches. I don't know if they've fully gone away on my hand. But some of them were a little demanding. I think they've gotten used to the attention now.
Probably.
And, like, one of them, I was sitting down and it came up behind me and it was, like, rubbing its ears on me. And then one of them, like, grabbed my hand with its claws and, like, put it on the table and then started rubbing its own head. And I was like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow, they were really cute from the photos, but not for me. I would not attend that. Plus, you were covered in cat hair, you said. So
There was a lot of cat hair.
I have allergies. That just wouldn't have been good. But it did sound fun, and I know it was a highlight for you, so happy for you. So would you say that that was, like, the peak of your trip? You know how people do, like, peak and valley or whatever
Rosebud
it's called?
Thorn?
Rose
Wait,
Thorn.
what's Peak and Valley?
Peak and pit.
Oh, is it Peak?
Peak. Rose
Pit.
and Thorn, Peak, Pit, Peak and Pit.
Huh. Okay. I guess my
Something
peak
like that.
would be the cat sanctuary. Or what else? Honestly, I think the cat sanctuary would be it for me. Like, that was the highlight.
Okay.
Because snorkeling, I'm not good with salt water or swimming, especially if there are waves.
I know
was
that
fun.
the peak was our beach photo shoot for you.
That was my pit. We were there for hours.
We were.
And then the worst part is we take photos all day. We go back to the room. She's looking at them and she's like, oh, they're all bad. I don't have a single photo to post.
And then Darian took like 20 pictures of me the next day. And I posted one. So it just like wasn't a me day. Like I was off. It was a me, not you problem.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you saying that. Makes me feel a bit better.
Yep. But
what was your peak and pit? You can't leave us hanging.
What would my peak be?
I know what it would be.
What?
Probably rooming with me for the whole trip. When we changed hotels and we were at a different hotel halfway through and Maddie had to either sleep with me or Darian and she was begging to sleep with me.
Kind of.
She's not a compatible roomie.
No, she doesn't say.
You guys aren't
What
compatible.
did you say? Did she say?
Oh, every
See
night.
you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. She's
No.
like, if I open my eyes, I could see you right now.
That's true. But no, she didn't say anything. She didn't say good morning. She just, my biggest, is it the word gripe? Like you're an issue with someone?
I don't know.
My biggest grievance
Oh, God.
with Darian is she sets her alarm for 7 a.m. But lays in bed until 8:15. Just set your alarm for 8. Like, if you're not going to get up,
Maybe
then
she
set your alarm
likes
for 8.
that hour and 15 minutes to decompress.
No. You don't need an hour and 15. That's rude if you have a roommate. So I set my alarm for like 7:45, 8 that day. We had like gone to bed late. Her alarm goes off at 7. I'm wide awake. I'm like, seriously? And then
You are saying, I set my alarm for 9, okay? I'm like, I'm on vacation, I'm going to sleep in a little. Her alarm goes off at 7. I was like, are you kidding me?
because I was ready to get up and record our podcast. I wasn't like
At 7? We didn't discuss that. I would
Yes.
not have approved of 7 a.m.
No, we were going to like have breakfast, get ready for the day, start recording at 9. And then I get up at 7:15, start to get ready. Lauren's like being so lazy. But I actually got out of bed and was like ready to start the day. And I'm like, when's your food coming that you ordered? And she's like, I ordered it for 9:30.
And then, without my permission, she calls. Hi, I ordered breakfast last night, scheduled to arrive at 9:30, and I'd like to move it up. I'm like,
Well, we
you
were awake
imposter.
anyways. We were awake. We were up and at 'em,
I
you
would have
could
liked to
say.
have been asleep.
Well, you weren't because we were awake. So that's why
you open all the
trying to be
blinds.
productive. So anyways, no, Darian sets her alarm for 7, doesn't move a muscle until 8:15. Like, I'm sorry, that is a waste of time.
Was she on her phone or just lying there?
On TikTok.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Laying there on TikTok, but like you don't need to do that. Get up and leave. Or don't set your alarm for 7 if you're going to get up at 8:15. That's it.
And then me and John were sleeping in like the living room
Was in a
area, I
cage.
guess. Because when we changed hotels, we were all in this one big room that had like little rooms in it, but it all connects. And so Maddie and Darian wake up very early, and then Maddie comes into the main room where me and John are sleeping on cots in like the living room kitchen area. And she opens all of the blinds, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm waking up at 7:30 today.
You were awake already.
I don't know about that.
The first day you were awake, and then the second day I didn't come until like 8:45. So
Wow.
that was polite. And I'm sorry, we don't need to sleep in past 9. Okay.
Fine.
Anyways, so I don't really know what my peak was. I think it was all great. My pit was honestly maybe the flight because there was no Wi-Fi. It was so boring.
You were sitting next to me. We were talking the whole time. I see how it is.
The way back was
it's fine,
actually fine because we were talking about the Lauren's prom dress.
Oh, yes. Wait, I feel like we should explain
about
that
the
a little
dress.
bit. Yeah, basically, I couldn't find a prom dress that I really loved. So we decided to make one. And me and Maddie are working together to design and make a prom dress. So that's what we were doing on the plane. Continue.
So that was good because it passed a lot of time. Darian was like, I took my headphones off and heard you guys talking about this prom dress, and then I started like listening to something, and I took my headphones off an hour later, and you were still talking about it. But we talked about it for like 2 hours.
Yeah, we were at it for a long time, and Maddie brought her fabric book on vacation.
Silk.
I don't really know why, but she had like probably 50 squares of silk. And more?
I think there's 85 colors.
So she had 85 squares of silk, and she like opens it up on the plane. It's not just a folder, but it like unfolds. So there were like 4 sheets of silk, and we were just looking through them. Like we had everything we needed to design that dress right there and then.
We really got that dress designed.
We did, but I don't know if it's going to work out.
We're having some trouble,
revisions
so we have to go back into production or back into development before we do production. It's just, you know, there's always something. There's always a problem. I have a lot of problems with my stuff right now, too. So, anyways, that was fun. But the flight, otherwise, like on the way there, you were sleeping the whole time, I think. So, I was just like staring at the ceiling. I was so bored.
Okay, I was not sleeping. I was watching the last episode of Love is Blind and then the reunion. And then I watched The Giver. It was a great time.
So she had her headphones in, ignoring me, and I was staring at the ceiling. So that was definitely the pit. And the peak was the trip. And that was
Just
it.
the whole trip.
Well, I loved Lanai. I think that was a very special, like, Hawaiian experience, very special island. As we discussed last week, very different. There's only one road with no stoplights on the whole island, so it's super quiet, very like isolated feeling. And I think that my favorite places that I've been are those type of places. Like I love Anguilla, I love Amangiri, as everyone knows. So,
Of course.
and I think the reason I like them is because they're so different than other places that you go where you're like, I don't know, on a resort with lots of people. Like Lanai was very similar to Amangiri, where like you don't really see anyone else, at least at the first hotel that we went to.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love that.
We were all voting on which hotel we liked better of the 2 that we stayed at. And I think that the first one was really amazing and very unique to anything we had really done before. Similar to Amangiri, though, you're right. But you don't see anyone, and it's just very calm. You're not at the beach. Like, some people were commenting on my day in the life TikToks, like, you're in Hawaii and you didn't go to the beach.
Oh, really?
But there was no beach there, and it was just, you could go and drive to the beach, but it's not close by. So it's just a very relaxing time.
It's like a wellness retreat, and that's where we did all of the activities. I thought it was really fun. I think that was my peak, was like going to Sensei, the resort, and doing all that stuff. I thought it was just like a really good time. And it was nice to detach kind of, but also be busy because we don't like to like sit around on vacation. I think everyone gets bored after a few days of like doing nothing. especially Dad, he like always complains. He's like, this is boring. I want to go home. So it was fun to like have everything booked, and we went to the spa and did all that stuff. So definitely very relaxing and very nice experience. And I think everyone thoroughly enjoyed it. So hopefully we'll be back, even though my dad says no more trips. We'll see about that. He always says that.
Yeah. Okay,
right.
well, do we have anything else to add about Hawaii before we move on?
I don't think so. I think that's it for Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk quickly about some stuff that's going on in the world. I feel like this is a long episode, so we can talk about everything pretty quickly.
Yeah, we normally start off with this little segment, but today we're going to finish off the podcast with it just to spice things up.
Yes.
Honestly, I kind of like the episodes where we just let things flow and you get to everything, but not in a specific order, and it's just feels more natural, you know?
Those are my favorite podcast episodes to listen to, like on other people's shows. I don't love like a structured podcast episode or like an interview even.
Yeah.
Where it's just like generic questions and you're talking about things that like aren't that interesting. And if I listen to a podcast and I like the host, I like to just hear them talk. And even if it's like background noise, like they're not providing me with like knowledge or information even, I think that it's like nice to listen to something. Like when I'm alone here, I always have podcasts playing, and you don't have to be like connected to it. Like you don't have to be like listening to every word, but it's like background noise kind of. So even if we're just your background noise, that's
okay.
totally fine.
We're just happy to be here, happy to be involved.
Yes.
You know?
So stories, things going on in the news. I told you a few before we started recording. So do you want to say yours first?
I'm going to steal Maddie's. Full transparency. She told me this, and I'm just going to repeat it back.
Yes.
But basically, Kylie Jenner announced the name of her baby, and then recently announced that that is no longer the name. And it was Wolf, right?
Wolf Webster. Kind of fire
That
name.
is a fire name. I like the WW.
Wolf and Stormy. But if you guys know about all the drama with Tammy Hembrow, who's this Australian fitness influencer girl, her child is named Wolf, and he's like 5 or 6. And they used to be friends. Like all the Kardashians used to be friends with Tammy. But then something happened at someone's birthday party, and she like had to be taken away in an ambulance. And then they all unfollowed her.
Oh.
So obviously like something happened. Like I don't know. I don't want to speculate.
Who knows?
But there was obviously some sort of problem because they all unfollowed her. So
Right. I have a question. Was that recently?
no, maybe like it was before COVID, 2019 maybe.
I just don't get why if that's why she changed her baby's name, did she not know that Tammy had a kid named Wolf?
I'm sure she did. I don't know if that's the reason. That's what people on TikTok are saying. Like, oh, they saw the Tammy Hembrow. She saw the Tammy Hembrow videos like on TikTok. I don't know if Kylie Jenner like casually strolls TikTok, but I'm not sure.
Who doesn't? Our dad does.
She probably does. But that's one possible reason. I don't know if that's the case, or if maybe they just like didn't like the name. When it's a baby, like you can just change the name. They don't know.
Wait, is the baby born yet?
Yes.
Oh, my bad.
But
I don't keep up.
If you loved a name,
that's
for,
actually kind of a big decision then.
It is a big decision, but if you loved a name for like 5 years, say, but then you have your baby and like you just don't really feel like it fits them, and then maybe that's why you would change it.
That's what she said, right?
Yeah, that's what she said.
She said that it like after I guess getting to know the baby, like learning its personality, it just wasn't a good fit.
Or maybe she just like thought of one she liked better.
Yeah. But isn't that what she said publicly?
That's what she said, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Never have had a child, so I don't know if you like the name matches the baby or if the baby just becomes the name.
Yeah.
It's like a dog. Like if you think about a dog, the dog just becomes the name that you give it. It doesn't really need to match. I don't know.
That's true. I feel like people, when you like get to know them and you know their name, it makes sense. Like it always makes sense. You're like, oh, like you would be a Maddie. Yes. But then it's like, what does that really mean? Is there a specific type of person who's a Maddie, or
no?
Is it just you meet them as Maddie, and so that's like it just makes sense to you?
I mean, kind of. Like there's certain names that are like more delicate, and then if a person has a very like quiet or like delicate personality or like, you know, like way about them, then the name would fit them better.
And
like,
I would say Wolf is a pretty unique
it's like a very
name.
strong, well, obviously like a wolf. If you think of a wolf, like that's a very like it gives you a very clear picture of what the name is because it has like that animal reference, I guess.
And what the person would be like.
So maybe for some reason they just decided it didn't fit. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's more like specific than a name like John.
Did you just walk by?
Yeah. But like John could be anyone, you know?
No offense. But
No, but like
it's kind of basic.
The personality isn't linked to the name.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's true. And honestly, the same with our names. Like,
All of our names
I
are
don't
pretty...
think they're that. Darian's is pretty unique, and I would say she is probably the
most Darian.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to explain, but she's the one who's creative, and
Johnny Orlando, and that is an incredible name.
he can hear us bashing him.
Nobody tells me that.
Okay. We're
And
just...
nobody fits it as well as I do.
Goodbye. Didn't know that
Hope
we
you
had
guys
a
could hear
guest
that.
on today's episode,
Yeah.
but apparently we do.
No, I just think that Wolf is a very unique name. Obviously, like, I don't know anyone personally named Wolf, so I think that makes more sense than if she named him John or Lauren or anything else. Madison. That name, the person kind of just, like, evolves into the name. Okay, so something that I saw, which if you guys have TikTok, I'm sure you saw,
I
is
even saw it. That's how you
Josh
know.
Richards and Mads Lewis.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because... Okay, we have to go through the whole drama.
We just saw them, actually, and it was crazy.
No, it's crazy because of the
Them
backstory.
together, kind of.
So Josh and Jaden used to be friends. Josh was dating Nessa Barrett, and Jaden was dating Mads Lewis.
Okay, yes.
And then Jaden started dating Nessa. Like, Mads and Jaden had this whole public falling out, and then Jaden started dating Nessa, which is crazy because Josh and Jaden used to be best friends, right? Like, you're following, right?
I feel like I
Well, I'm
remember
sure you know
hearing
about this.
Yeah.
So now, currently, Jaden is dating Nessa. And they switched girlfriends, basically. Well, now Josh,
my
I don't think Josh and
gosh.
Mads are actually dating. I think it's just for clout. But now Josh was, like, making all these, like, crazy TikToks with Mads Lewis.
Yeah.
Which is just, I can't believe it because they switched girlfriends. But obviously, that's why they're doing it. Like,
Right.
a lot of attention came from it, I'm sure. So that's crazy.
I feel like it's definitely a publicity stunt, but kind of funny, honestly.
Hilarious.
Like, oh my gosh, they're kind of clever.
It's funny to me how these TikTokers do these things that are like kind of crazy, like very dramatic, but it's all just
Yeah.
for like views and clicks, and it actually is just for like attention.
Yeah, but it makes sense, but also that's a lot of commitment too. Like, I don't know, they probably knew that would stir stuff up even in their friend group. So
Do you think their friends think it's real though? Like,
No,
I bet you their
no,
friends
no.
aren't texting them like, "Whoa, what is this?" Like, I'm sure they all have an understanding that they're just doing this to get views and publicity and articles written about them and all that.
I think they know that, but I think they might still be mad. At least, wait, who
Yeah.
are the two that aren't involved? Jaden and Nessa?
They're dating separately.
Right. So I feel like they might be a little put off by it.
I know. It's so weird. It's just like not real life. Like, LA is so weird. I'm sorry. That's
It is
crazy.
pretty, yeah.
Like, would that ever happen in high school?
No one like fake dates outside of the entertainment industry, I
Yeah,
don't
true.
think.
Would people switch girlfriends with their friends?
I feel like that breaks a lot of girl codes and
What if the
guys
girls
have
aren't
codes, guy
friends?
codes.
This is what my dad says. He says, if a guy wants to date your ex-girlfriend, if a guy wants to date another guy's ex-girlfriend,
Yeah.
the guy has to ask and the other guy has to say yes. I'm like, I don't
What's the point of
think
asking
that's
then?
true. That's what he said.
Maybe that's what guy code is.
That's
It's
what he
just
says.
like,
You just need to tell them. You have to
Go
give them
for
a
it,
heads
man.
up. And then the other has to be cool about it. I don't know.
What?
If there's any guys listening to this, please
please
let us
confirm.
know.
Why were you and dad talking about that?
Who knows? We talk about a lot of stuff.
He says a lot of things. Just
That's true.
Things come up. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like girl code is all about like, if I date him, you can't have him.
For
You know?
sure.
And I guess that's not how it is with guys.
Which is funny because the guys that you date in high school, if you like break up with them within the next year or two, like eventually you'll be like, I literally don't care if anyone
Yeah.
talks to these guys. Like I don't know. You'll meet a lot more guys in your life. I get it more so if it's someone you've been dating for like 5 years or something.
Yeah.
Or if it's your best girlfriend, you would never, even if it was someone that they just like liked or something. Mm-hmm. But like in high school, everything seems so dramatic.
It is.
It is dramatic, but at the time it really is. And then when you're older,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, that was dumb, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes people say stuff and I'm just like, what?
Yeah, you have good perspective, I think, because, you know, me
Right.
and my friends.
Of course.
Yeah, you've learned a lot.
Yeah. I don't know if that's it, but I like to
Okay.
think that I don't really care. Like, if one of my
Yeah.
friends wanted to date someone that I dated, I'd be like, go for it. You
That's
know?
crazy. I would be so mad.
Why?
I would be fuming. I don't know. I probably would be. Depends who it is.
And it depends how it ended, I think, too.
Okay, last story. Rihanna. This is a story about Rihanna who's pregnant. And I think last week I talked about Rihanna being pregnant and how I learned about it on Demois, the gossip Instagram I was telling you about.
did.
So, okay, feel like I've known she's pregnant for like 6 months already. But apparently she was shopping at Target, which is the first part of the story because obviously she's a billionaire. So the fact that she's buying baby clothes at Target is very humble and nice.
Yeah.
And
She's
relatable.
just like us.
Exactly. And
I love Target, personally. I totally get why she was there.
Yeah,
but
Lauren would
a
love
little
Target.
out of character for her.
she was like shopping herself at Target. I don't know, just very odd. And she was buying pink baby clothes.
Oh.
So maybe she's having a girl. I would assume that's why she's buying baby clothes, but you never know.
Right.
Could be like something to throw people off.
Oh,
you know
a
that
publicity
she's-
stunt, maybe.
You know she's going to. There'll be like paparazzi and like people taking photos at Target. Like there'll be a million
Yeah.
people there. She wasn't wearing a mask, so you could like totally tell who it was because now you don't need to wear masks in LA anymore.
Right.
And she's buying girl baby clothes very obviously, like had the pink clothes, like bright pink. So
Like, wasn't trying to hide it. And also, I feel like if she cared at all, she would just get someone else to go to Target for her. Like,
you don't need
I'm
to go to
she has
Target
an
if you're
assistant. True. Or she could order online. Like, there are so many other ways she could have gone about that. I think it might have been
it's too obvious.
for the publicity, honestly.
So I guess that means she's probably having a boy.
Yeah, I guess if she's trying to throw people off, she might.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like
You
she
think
put a lot of thought into it. She wants us to think she's having a boy. And so she's actually having a girl. Could be.
reverse? That's just like too confusing.
It's like double psychology or something.
It's like reverse.
Wouldn't
She's
that
just
just be psychology?
It's just like plain. Like she's just saying it how it is, and she thinks that people are gonna overthink it. But
and
it's
here
not.
we are, overthinking it.
Honestly, Lauren, that might be right. Well, we'll see what
Genius.
happens when her baby's born.
Okay, if you've known for 6 months, she must be...
I don't know how
Almost
long
ready.
I've known.
Okay.
That was just like an anonymous tip, but it was obviously true. So I think I wonder when her due date is, but probably within the next like 2-ish months, 3 months.
Ooh.
She was looking pregnant, so hard
I
to
guess
know.
we'll know soon. We'll let you guys know, give you a little update when the baby is born. Okay, so I think we should leave it on a high note with Rihanna and her baby clothes shopping. I don't even know. But thank you all so much for listening, and we will talk to you again next week.
Bye.
Bye.